afternoon, everyone. First of all, let me congratulate you on finishing this challenging program. I know it's been a very demanding year. Sleepless nights, you were saying before, impossible deadlines, and a level of stress that is very difficult to explain to someone who hasn't gone through it. I still remember when I started my master's during the brush-up courses, there was a professor, it wasn't you, but it's the same message more or less that you gave, he saw us struggling already in the brush-ups and said, you know, guys, the pain is yet to come. And indeed, the pain came a few weeks later. But I'm not here to talk to you about the past, about how demanding the program was, because you knew that when you applied to one of the most prestigious programs around. I'm here to welcome you to the other side of the finish line, to the alumni community. So when I was asked if I wanted to share a few words with you, I immediately said yes, but then I realized I was not sure what I was going to share with you. So I remember texting my family saying, what should I talk about? And then my sister replying with exactly one word, that was adventures. And at that point, I remember thinking, well, yeah, thanks, not helpful. But then a few days later, it hit me. That's how my sister, who works in a completely different domain, field, sees my relationship with the BSE, adventures. So I have tried to summarize 3 lessons learned over the past decade, along with a few adventures that came with it. Lesson 1, it's not about the speed, it's about the direction, and you're allowed to adjust it. You're gonna have that one friend, colleague, which is full speed, right? So landing a top PhD position right after the master's, building a brilliant career, academic career in the States, and still living happily there 10 years after. It's important that when this friend invites you over to New York, you just say yes. But you're also going to have that one friend who's going to complete his PhD program and then realize academia isn't for him and switch to the private sector where he is just as happy there. It's not about the speed, it's about also being able to adjust direction along the way. Then you're also going to have that one friend who won't dream his PhD position right after the master's. It's going to take a few more steps, a few setbacks, and a bit more patience, but he'll eventually get there. 3 different people, 3 different paths, but still 3 people that are where they wanted to be. Because it isn't about the speed, it's about the direction, and you're allowed to adjust it. Lesson 2, make the most of the alumni community. I remember a few years after graduating that I was informally organizing a small reunion with people from my cohort in London. And the BSE, for I don't know how, but they found out. And instead of simply wishing us a good time, they decided to fund the event. So what was supposed to be a small reunion became like an official alumni reunion with people from multiple cohorts. That's the kind of institution this is. They genuinely want to go the extra mile to ensure that the community stays connected, because they know something you'll soon discover yourself. It's not only about the knowledge you have, but it's also about the people you know. And today you're receiving an extremely valuable degree, but so is the network sitting in this room. These are the people who will recommend you for jobs, who will answer messages when you're considering a career move, who will introduce you to opportunities you didn't even know that existed, and that sometimes will simply remind you that you're not the only one who's still figuring things out. So stay connected, keep showing up, and make the most of this community. Lesson 3, book the ticket. Today, you're graduating with much more than a master's degree. You've earned something that is difficult to put on a CV, which is friends all over the world. Over the past 10 years, I've traveled countless times to meet former classmates. I've been to the most delicious wedding in Italy. I've been to the funniest wedding in Greece. Unfortunately, I had to miss the Indian wedding because it was a little too close to the day I was supposed to give birth. I figured that was one of the very few excuses that would prevent me from traveling there. I've explored Rome, London, Athens, New York, you name it, not as a tourist, but with people who were once solving problem sets with me in the library. Those are experiences you simply can't plan for today. So whenever someone messages you saying, I'm leaving in or I'm moving to, just book the ticket. You'll never regret it. So if there's one thing I'd like you to remember after today, it's this. It's not about the speed, it's about the direction, and you're allowed to adjust it. Make the most of the alumni community and go book that ticket. I'll finish where I started. Just like my master started with a little warning of the challenge ahead, I hope I can end yours with a bit of more optimistic message, which is the best, guys, is yet to come. Congratulations again, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Aina. It's a pleasure to have you back. It's now I would like to call to the floor the student representatives, Sefkann Odic from Finance and Ailsa Duthie from Economics.
Wow. That's a lot more people than expected, to be honest, but we'll make it work. So, look, before I start, I do want to thank the friends and family for making the trip today. I know you've traveled a long way from home to show some love to the graduates today, and I think for that you all deserve a round of applause. So please give it up. Okay. That's enough. Come on. Today's about the graduates. Come on, it's not about you only, but we'll get back to you, I promise. I'm just messing with you. For those who don't know me yet, my name is Sefkann. I'm in the finance program with these beautiful people right here. And some might know me because I like to organize what we'll call, politely, a nightlife extracurricular events. I'm also a living chewing gum dispenser, but most of all, I'm just a very lucky guy. And the reason I'm a very lucky guy is because of this program. Thank you to the directors. Thank you to the city as well. This program, this year, but most importantly to all of you guys. All of you people have made this year truly special, and I couldn't thank you more. When I came here, or for a couple more years before that, I was always told to surround myself with smarter people. You know, to be the person who asks the most questions and not the one that knows the most answers. And this year, I feel like this has been my role. Some of you might remember term one. You know how much I love to ask questions, and you know how much I take interest in those classes with all of you guys. And believe it or not, I'm the guy with most questions. I'm telling that for the parents and friends around here. And absolutely. Every single class, at some point, I did have to calm down to let the teachers actually teach and to let all of you get to a more advanced level that I had not yet reached. But and there was a lot of working, there was a lot of learning from you guys as well. And there's about, 30 nationalities in this room right now as we're speaking, which is pretty fabulous if you ask me. It's pretty incredible to connect with people from such different horizons. And, everyone came from a different background, different path. I look at some people in this crowd and I see undergrads in law. Can you believe that? People that studied law in their undergraduate degree who now study economics and finance with us. They took the same econometrics classes as us, did better than most of us as well, so that's pretty impressive as well. That's pretty impressive. And very astonishing fact as well. I met 2 Icelandic guys this year in my class. Great people, great people. And that must represent about 5% of the Icelandic population, something like that. And I ran these numbers with the same care as I applied to all of my problem sets, which, reflect exactly that. But no, really none of this was an accident, that we all ended up together, and we have to thank BSE for that. BSE built this room from scratch. And it's crazy to think that someone actually in the application process decided to go through all of our files and to decide that all of us deserve to be in the same room together, to share experiences, learn together, and make ourselves better versions of ourselves. And to that, I'm extremely grateful to the entire BSE community, to the entire board that we find here today with us. And, you did not just give us a degree, you gave us each other, and that's going to stick with us for a long, long time. Now, I've lost count as well of how often some people in this room explained some stuff to me. They had every right to be too busy to explain that, having exams, the same exams in the morning, but still went through problem sets and examples with me again and again, doing them until I understood them. I think that's truth for more than me. Many people face difficulties, but we could always rely on one another, and that's the most important part of this program as well. And it was not only the academics. This year I was listened to, I was looked after, and I was told the truth when I needed to hear it. And, I did not come here expecting any of that. Not at all. I came to Barcelona, to BSE. Great expectations academically wise, but did not expect for 1 second that I would come out with all of you guys. Came here for a master's degree, came out with lifelong friends. And that's very important to me. Thank you. When I look back on this year as well, the highlights, they do come easily. Karaoke nights with some people in the crowd right there. The Andorra ski trip with most of you. Econometrics 1, Econometrics 2. I mean, 2 of those I would gladly do again. I'll let you figure out which ones those were, but I think it's pretty clear. But one thing I do remember very fondly, and that's the football tournament. Yeah, let's be honest. Our econ brothers and sisters, you made us look very slow for the entire year. You really did. You asked better questions. You finish exams early. You understand everything on the first try. You truly are brilliant people. And I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. You are impressive. You are extremely brilliant academically, personally as well. But on that pitch, the 20 minutes, oh my God, finance dominated. Finance won. And let me tell you, that is the only statistically significant result finance brought to the table this year. But it's already on our LinkedIns. So since you've all been so nice to me, so helpful to me this year, I decided, or I'm going to try, giving you a piece of advice as well. I mean, this might be a hot take because, the man I'm quoting ended up in handcuffs at the end of the movie, but I think that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Because I've seen firsthand the sweat and the tears that most of us put in this degree, and I know how much you deserve, how much you actually deserve. And I know your worth. You deserve the absolute best this world has to offer, and I hope you'll never stop chasing that. But while you chase it, please stay kind, stay humble, as a really good friend of mine likes to say. In the end, we all put our pants on the same way every morning. And so when you walk at this outlet today, go make the world a better place. Go make us proud. Because now you have the means to. And if you ever struggle doing it, there's about 120 people in this room who will pick up the phone every time, starting with me. Because in the end, for me, if we went through Micro 1 together, you're officially part of the family. You're invited to Christmas dinner every year. You better believe that. So this brings me back to the people I said I would come back to. The parents, the partners, the grandparents, and the friends who flew in. You might have not been in those lectures, but you sat through every phone call about them. All the problem sets you did not give a rat's ass about. At hours you should have been asleep. Every single person that walked on this stage today was standing on something that you built as well. So, the round of applause I asked for at the beginning, that was a joke, but this one is real, so please give it up to the families, friends, everyone that made the trip here today. And some final words. Class of 2026, congratulations. You are among the best people that I've ever met in my entire life. You will go far in life, absolutely. Continue smiling, keep up the good work. Go be greedy, go be humble, and I'll see you all at Christmas or at Shoko later this evening. You decide. We'll see. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I don't think any of us thought this day would come so quickly. Remember when we were studying in the library in what has now been commonly named the fishbowl for those all-important brush-up exams? Back then, graduation felt so long away, but here we are, surrounded by the friends and family that we had before we arrived, and the friends and family we have formed since. Thank you all for coming. This year has been a gift in so many ways, and you know what they say, nothing worth having is easy, and I can tell you this master's we're all graduating with was definitely not easy, so surely must be worth having. I can safely say that each 3-hour time series lecture, finishing at 8:30 at night, the never-ending problem sets of term 2, and the painful 75-cent coffees from the building 23-24 coffee machines were made better by the mid-lecture gossip sessions, the weekend meetups to get the problem sets over the line, and the people you would bump into also looking for the will to live at the excessively loud coffee machines, declaring our 4th coffee of the day. The community we have built together over the year is one in which I'm confident will last a lifetime. After we leave here today and embark on the next step in our journeys across the globe, it is sad to think that we will no longer be in Barcelona, a place that we've called home over the last 10 months. However, it is also exciting to think there will be pockets of this, from New York to Oxford to Singapore, a perfectly curated holiday bucket list for us all. In a similar vein, we've all come from far and wide to end up right here. Just how far and wide was made very apparent to me one mild October morning. Rafa showed up wearing a scarf and gloves, inquiring where he could find a thick duvet to keep him warm at night. Me, on the other hand, I was still convinced no jackets were required. Maybe a premonition of when I declared they were actually banned after we had a scorcher of a 22-degree day back in March. Sylvia's concern was valid, how I would cope in the height of summer. Fair to say, Scotland did not prepare me for this. Despite all of our different backgrounds and past experiences, we all very quickly became close and developed a lot in common. Namely, I think we have all been lucky enough to try Grace's homemade focaccia on at least 5 occasions. And we've all perfectly timed our library exits. Enough time to get to Lidl before it closed, but also enough time to bump into at least 6 people on our way out and turn a 5-minute walk into a 45-minute walk by having conversations which were absolutely necessary to keep us sane during exam season. I think the ski trip also deserves an honourable mention. The trip was a steep learning curve for many of us, but mostly for Matteo, who I don't think will ever agree to supervise such a trip again. If it wasn't another emergency exit off of the slopes, it was our festival tickets being 2 years out of date, or the spa group getting stranded for hours, which everyone seems to forget. It was agreed that Matteo must have done something terrible in a past life to deserve such chaos. But there's no doubt we had a great time, probably fueled by the record-breaking hundreds of litres of beer which were consumed at the hotel bar. We also shared a lot of sports successes over the year, which again brought everyone closer together, out supporting each other. We had days out at the High Rocks, and there were, of course, the marathon runners. Catherine ran laps around Barcelona, whilst Macro 1 was running laps around us in the library, in between marathon cheering breaks. We also had the football tournament, as Sefkann mentioned, which only brought us closer together. Unfortunately, not enough to beat finance, which is arguably a worse fate than being singled out to answer a question in nowcasting and forecasting. Another honourable mention should, of course, go to Café Manzana, fueling us with better coffee and chocolate croissants. It will always hold a special place in my heart as a destination of countless coffees sat on the bench outside, catching up on the goings-on of ECON, which I'm sure passers-by would assume was a rundown of the latest episode of Love Island. I just know the baristas are going to miss us just as much as we're going to miss them. It may appear so far that we did more socializing than studying. However, I promise that in between the girls' trips to Italy and the late night or early morning World Cup matches, there were phone calls to parents saying that we were convinced that we actually were going to fail this time. Or the warnings to my dad that he would have an extra pair of hands to unload the dishwasher if I didn't have a job come August. I think studying often took the reins, and it's an achievement that we managed to make the most of living in Barcelona, although maybe not as much as the UPF undergrads who were regularly seen having beers in the canteen at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll finish up with some sentimental words, left until last so I could hold it together over the past 5 minutes. I know for a fact that each and every one of you is going to go on to prosper and do great things. I feel incredibly lucky that my visa did not adhere to the typical Spanish timing and actually arrived earlier than anticipated, meaning that I didn't have to defer until the class of 2027. We've not only watched each other grow over the past 10 months, but we have supported and encouraged one another. Everyone should be proud of the people that they were when they arrived here in September, and even prouder of the people that they are now. Whatever your next steps are, appreciate that you've made it to this point, and remember to celebrate that before moving on. And also, wherever you are, the class of 2026 is only a WhatsApp message and undoubtedly a WhatsApp sticker away. So everyone join me in applause to the lecturers, teaching assistants, BSE staff, friends and family, and of course, every single graduate sitting in front of me.